Hey Marvel fans, we've got some big theories and speculations today about the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, one of the most anticipated movies in the MCU's future slate. With characters like Bucky Barnes, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, and US Agent all set to appear, this movie is shaping up to be the MCU's answer to the Suicide Squad. But what exactly will the plot of Thunderbolts be? Will it focus on redemption, government manipulation, or maybe even something darker? Today we're breaking down all the clues from the comics, the leaks, and the official cast list to theorize what kind of wild ride we can expect. And before we dive deep, do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Plus, leave a comment below to enter our giveaways. It's easy, it's free, and you could win something really nice. Now, let's jump into it. First, let's start with a quick rundown of who the Thunderbolts are in the comics. Originally created by Kurt Busiek and Mark Bagley in 1997, the Thunderbolts were initially presented as a new superhero team to fill the void left by the Avengers after a major crisis. However, the big twist came when it was revealed that the Thunderbolts were actually villains in disguise, led by Baron Zemo. They intended to gain the world's trust and then betray it. Over the years, the team has gone through many iterations, sometimes with reformed villains looking for redemption and other times as a government-sponsored Black Ops team. Given the rosters of the characters, we know that they will be in the MCU Thunderbolts. One of them should be Bucky Barnes, who has been on a path of redemption, then Yelena Belova, who is still figuring out her place in a post-Black Widow world, and John Walker, a disgraced Captain America wannabe who's now a US agent. It seems like Marvel is going for a blend of both these themes, so what does this mean for the plot? From what we've gathered from various leaks and insider information, it looked like the Thunderbolts will be set up by the US government, or more specifically, by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We've already seen her recruiting John Walker at the end of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Yelena Belova in Black Widow's post-credit scene, implying that she's assembling a team for some kind of Black Ops operation. This is a strong nod to the Dark Reign era in the comics, where the government relied on morally questionable heroes and reformed villains to do their dirty work. So, the initial setup could be something like this. Wall and the government decide that the Avengers are too unpredictable and they need a more controllable team. One that they can deploy without the moral constraints of Earth's mightiest heroes. Enter the Thunderbolts. This could be a cover team set out to do the job that the Avengers won't or cannot do. They might present themselves as heroes to the public, but take on darker missions behind the scenes. Think something like a mix between the Suicide Squad and Mission Impossible, with a lot of morally great decisions along the way. But here's where it gets interesting. If there's one thing we know about the Thunderbolts, is that they never quite follow orders. Given a mix of personalities on this team, there's bound to be tension. Bucky, who has spent so much time seeking redemption, probably won't be thrilled as much about being on a team full of morally dubious characters. Yelena is driven by her own motivations and has a sense of justice that doesn't always align with government agendas. And then, you have John Walker, a hothead who wants to prove himself but has a very different idea of what being a hero means. And let's not forget, Red Guardian and Taskmaster, who have their own complicated pasts. One likely plot scenario could be that the Thunderbolts are sent on a mission by Val, and things go horribly wrong. Maybe they're tasked with capturing or eliminating a HVT, it means a high-value target, but that target turns out to be some innocent, like a former SHIELD agent, or even a retired Avenger who actually knows too much. This could be the turning point where the team realizes they're being used as pawns for darker government agendas. This mission gone wrong scenario could lead to a rift within the team, splitting them into factions. Some members might want to continue following orders, believing in the ends justifying the means, while others, like Bucky and Yelena, could want out or even expose the truth to the world. This internal conflict would make for some compelling character dynamics and set up some intense, emotionally charged confrontations. Now, every Marvel story needs a villain, and while the government and Val could serve as antagonists, there's room for a deeper, more sinister plot. We've seen Marvel do this before. Tease one villain only to reveal a more significant threat lurking in the background. One theory that's been gaining traction is the involvement of a hidden puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes. This could be someone like Baron Zemo, who has a long history with the Thunderbolts and is currently locked up after the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Imagine if Zemo orchestrates his own escape and manipulates the Thunderbolts into taking down his enemies under the guise of government missions. He's a master tactician, and his endgame could be to dismantle the entire system from within. If the Thunderbolts discover that they've been working for Zemo unknowingly, it would be a major betrayal that shakes the team to its core. This would not only give the Thunderbolts a formidable antagonist to rally against, but also offer a satisfying twist that ties back into the broader MCU. There's also the possibility of introducing a new villain like Norman Osborn or even Taskmaster's original handler, who could be seeking revenge or to consolidate power. However it is, they'd need to be a villain capable of outmaneuvering a team of super soldiers, spies, and assassins. That would make for an incredible storyline. The key theme of Thunderbolts could very well be redemption versus ruin. Are these characters capable of finding redemption, or are they doomed to remain villains or anti-heroes forever? For Bucky, this might be his last chance to prove to himself that he can be more than just a weapon. For Yelena, it could be about finding out what being a hero means on her own terms. Then we have John Walker. John Walker might see this as an opportunity to redeem his image after the blood-soaked events in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was one of the most horrifying scenes in the MCU. But we can understand that his methods and his worldview are always going to be at odds with those who follow a more ethical path. By the end of this movie, we might see some other characters walk away from the Thunderbolts, realizing that their moral compasses didn't align. Others might fully embrace their roles as government-sanctioned anti-heroes, setting the stage for future MCU storylines. And there's a potential of MCU for some characters to meet tragic ends, sacrifices that could add emotional weight and depth to the MCU. And of course, this is Marvel we're talking about, so everything has to connect. The Thunderbolts could easily tie into upcoming movies like Captain America Brave New World, or even Avengers The Kang Dynasty, or the Doom one, the new one. If Val and the government are looking to form their own Dark Avengers team, that could set up a massive showdown with the actual Avengers in the future. Imagine a scenario where the Thunderbolts, manipulated by someone like Zemo or Osborn, are pitted against Earth's mightiest heroes. It could be a battle for the soul of what it means to be a hero in the MCU. There's also the possibility of bringing in characters like Ghost, which she will probably be in this movie, and she's already confirmed if I'm not wrong, who's already had a redemption arc started in Ant-Man and the Wasp, or even Abomination, who has shown signs of reform in She-Hulk. They could either join the team or become wildcards that make the plot even more unpredictable. We could see an expansion of the darker side of the MCU, building towards an epic confrontation in the multiverse saga. And let's not forget that Marvel loves its post-credit scenes. A post-credit scene could reveal the next big villain, hint at a crossover, or show us where some of these characters are headed next. Maybe we see Val talking to another shadowy figure, hinting at the formation of another team like Dark Avengers. Or perhaps we get a glimpse of Zemo's next big plan. Whatever it is, it's bound to keep fans theorizing for months. So, there you have it. Our breakdown of what the Thunderbolts plot could be, the cast of morally complex characters, a potential hidden villain, and ties to future MCU projects. This movie has the potential to be one of the most unique entries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But what do you think? Will the Thunderbolts be heroes, anti-heroes, or villains in disguise? Who do you think the real villain will be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.